not floating away.
Since I woke up and said to myself, you know what, I'm going to live abroad. So I moved to Canada and travelled to different places. I left with money in my pocket, a hostel booked and nothing but hope.
I think we've all had a moment where we kind of feel stuck and home doesn't really feel like home anymore. Moving abroad feels like the escape button until it really hits. And most people say it's life changing, and don't get me wrong, it definitely is, but a lot of people don't mention the uncomfortable parts that go through moving abroad or even just taking on a whole new life experience. And there's quite a few things that I wish I knew before I actually jumped on that plane.
Finding work isn't glamorous. Now this is a thing that is hard anywhere you go really, but I'm going to speak specifically on Canada's job market that I've personally experienced. Now ideally you would want a job before you even arrive in Canada. That's probably going to be your best hope at securing something. There's a wasp flying around me right now, I'm trying to watch it, but so that's how I say use LinkedIn, connect to as many people as you can, go to networking events, wherever you can kind of get your face in front of many people that can probably refer you or even just help you get a job. That will be your best instance, because in the instance for my situation, I managed to land a job within 2 weeks of landing. I don't think I went more than, let's say, maximum 2 months without actually working a particular job. So for me, it's completely different to the general or let's say the majority of people that actually made that move to Canada. So there's so many different nuances that actually come with it, meaning different types of CVs you gotta actually do, because sometimes they don't, what it feels like they don't recognize overseas experience. They prefer Canadian. Like there'll be people with, let's say, a decade worth of experience and they don't get recognized, and then now working in, let's say, a coffee shop or something just to get by. Like, it's really that hard for people out here. And I'm not going to say it's any easier in any other country, but I think there's certain things you can probably do to kind of put yourself or differentiate yourself from the crowd when it comes to applying for jobs in Canada in general. I didn't find it as hard. It is hard, but there are ways around it, and ideally you want to secure something before you arrive in the country, because you can go a while without essentially working, as there's things like trying to work in, let's say, serving alcohol, you need to get a license or get something specific for you to work in that environment. But what's the time now? 9 o'clock. I need to go get some towels. Just picked up these towels now. Listen, sometimes you can't really compare at all. It's going to be a long and hard path, but you would eventually get there, whatever path you desire to do. The main thing is you're taking a risk on trying something new, really. There's going to be so much things that are going to be different. The way people treat you, the way people speak to you, the food, the atmosphere, the weather, everything's going to be different. The house prices, you can't say, oh yeah, I was earning this much in the UK, now I'm earning here, but it's still hard. It's hard everywhere you go, because your salaries or whatever you're earning is relative to where you're coming from. So you might say, yeah, I'm earning good money in the UK and the house prices are high. You come to Canada, you're earning a Canadian salary and the house prices are still high for the average person trying to buy a house. So there's no real difference. You can't really compare anything. You just gotta go with it as exactly how you was in your hometown. Just think of it as it's a new experience, it's new people. You can even start a fresh new slate, because no one cares. No one don't care who you are, no one don't care what you do. Like, you'll find a very few selected people that really care. Yeah, it's just a long process in general, right? And I think even for Brits in general, because we left the EU, I believe that, well, not left the EU, but Brexit happened, so I believe it kind of makes some more opportunities a bit more scarce than it is for the average person as you get older, because most other places, if it's not, let's say, the working holiday, which I think goes up to like 35 now, you would either need to start a business in the country, have a work employer, have an employer sponsor you, or heavily invest in property, in which you might get investment visa depending on the country, because you can't do that for Canada, or I believe not even the States. Somewhere like Dubai you can, but my message is just go out there, enjoy life, live life, gain new experiences, meet new people, try new things, never settle for less, and just keep that hunger with you. Whatever comes, whatever path you choose is not the wrong path. You just got to make your decision and tackle the obstacles that come along the way with that journey that you've chosen.
I was
talk about a few things. Hope is like one of the main things you're going to need, because throughout this whole journey, that's what's going to keep you going, is the hope. The hope for things to get better, the hope you're going to get accommodation, the hope you're going to get a job, the hope literally for everything when moving abroad. But that doesn't exactly always last long. It can only get you so far, because let's say if your money runs out, that hope is really it's gonna eat through that hope very fast. But it's something that you can still have and maintain throughout the whole journey, because that's gonna keep the dream alive, or keep whatever you're doing going, really. The last thing is accommodation. So I initially had a hostel booked for the duration and an Airbnb, but I was willing to stay basically wherever it need be in order for me to achieve whatever goal I was trying to do. Now, accommodation is probably one of the trickiest things, because if you don't have a job, most people ain't gonna really let you rent their place, or they're gonna require like at least 6-7 months up front, or even a year, just for you to secure that place. So it's kind of hard as a newcomer to have that full out, let's say 10-12 grand or whatever it may be, for the year, and you're not even working, or you might not have saved them. So accommodation can be tricky, but eventually you'll get there. It's going to be a hard, long time. You might have to rent with people. You might have to just book things way in advance and give yourself, just be proactive in terms of everything, especially when it comes to accommodation, and also working, so you're not gone for a long period of time without working. But nevertheless, I don't think I'll ever regret that experience. I haven't been back since, only to visit, but for the most part, it's like, it's kind of made me a different person for the better. For the better, definitely. Um, and this is something that I wouldn't really change for the world. Grown as an individual, and I've gained the most life experience I've ever done. Seen things, done things, and I've seen it's opened my eyes to a lot more things, and how I move and behave, and how I want my technically future self to be. But for the most part, yeah, if you're ever looking to do the same or anything as such, just take that leap of faith. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the night here. You can probably hear the violins playing. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you lot in the next video. Peace.